What's up, you guys? Chet Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with day 302 of my vlogging experience here in the state of Florida. And you guys, I have a very interesting vlog for you guys. Did I say you guys? I shouldn't say that again. That was 3 times at once. Not going to do that again. Just realized that. But tonight, I just got done watching a classic, and that was not the entire thing. Not that entire thing. But I did see The Shining. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, 1980. I finally saw it right after reading this baby. Main reason I did it was to really compare on which is better. A cinematic piece, well, a cinematic masterpiece, still 40 years later, 41 years later, 40 years later, it's still holding up its value as a horror film, or one of the greatest books ever written in terms of character development, and something that is, to me, is more than a horror novel. So you guys, I'm going to compare, I'm going to contrast. I guess where I will start from is Stephen King's The Shining is, as I've said, very brilliant in its character development. We see a Jack Torrance that is a recovering alcoholic, 2 years sober. 2 years sober. And he had gotten into a really bad scuffle at his old job. Forgot what the name of the preparatory school was. He beat up a kid for slashing his tires. His, boss/friend got him a job at the Overlook because his boss also owns 30% of the hotel. And we get to see Jack Torrance's descent into madness to his eventual possession by the hotel, and essentially, trying to kill Danny because of Danny's quote-unquote The Shining. The Shining, which is a form of precognition, predicting the future. You do see it in real life, but not to the extent that the book talks about. I really love how at the beginning of all this, we get to see where Red Rum comes from. And the buildup of what Red Rum is throughout the book. Danny just called it Red Rum. Red Rum, Red Rum, Red Rum. And you don't really know what Red Rum is up until, it finally reveals itself. Murder. And of course, Danny writes Red Rum on the door. And then, of course, Jack's fall into madness, which I just think it's totally brilliant how it's done in the book. We get to see how at first it looks like he has another imaginary drink, but it's not an imaginary drink. It's true alcohol. It's in the flesh. In the hotel, essentially Lloyd is telling him, you need to kill your family. Now, Lloyd is also Grady, who was a former caretaker who killed his family. In the book, you get to see that as soon as Jack turns around, it's like Lloyd's face is just all muddled and bloody and gory. And finally, Jack goes crazy. And we get to see Wendy's point of view, which they're just sitting upstairs hiding from him. I mean, it just sounds like he's gone crazy. He's talking to things. He's muttering songs that aren't there. And he's drunk. Throughout the story, we also get to see the boiler and how it plays into the book. Oh my goodness. Even from the very beginning. I mean, dude. So, I could go on forever about this amazing book. Its character development specifically has aided me in the story that I'm working on. Which, by the way, if I'm pretty much well, I'm 188 pages technical, but I'm going to be hitting 200 pages here very soon. So, I mean, getting to see what I can do with my characters and applying it, this book has helped me out a lot. Just about as much as Jordan Belfort's The Way of the Wolf. Also another brilliant book that I absolutely adore. So I'm going to shut up about this book before I go on all night, all vlog about this book. Because there's just so much goodness towards it. I mean, I love the plot. I mean, I love the situations that these characters are put in. And I see why, to this day, this book is still a New York Times bestseller. Stephen King, if you ever see this, thank you for writing this. This is pure genius. Although I know you were kind of drinking a lot when you wrote it. But that's not the point. So, you guys, now that I've said that much, I want to talk about The Shining. This DVD that I just watched. It was directed by Stanley Kubrick in 1980. And if you all are familiar, Stephen King absolutely hates the movie. Like, he would probably murder it if it were a person. But tonight I watched The Shining for the very first time, and it trickles down. I will say Stanley Kubrick stuck with a lot of what the book was about, although I kind of side with Stephen King on this one. To me, possessed hedge animals are more interesting than a maze. But I understand at the time that CGI was not even in its infancy yet. It was still new, like barely even new. So I guess I see why Kubrick used a maze. But regardless, to me, the hedge animal idea was way better. And, well, quite honestly, just reading about what it does to Dick Hallorann in the book is just much better than in the movie. Which, by the way, Dick Hallorann, I hate how he dies in the film. I know it's not really a spoiler because, well, the movie's been out 41 years. Well, 40 if you want to be technical. To me, what else can I say about the movie? Wendy's character is, I don't know. I mean, she feels she feels very timid, very submissive to Jack. When in the book, I mean, we see that Wendy is a very strong-headed woman. She would not be afraid to leave Jack in a heartbeat. But this Wendy in the movie is scared of every little dang thing on the planet. But I got to see one of the greatest quotes in movie or in cinema history, period. Here's Johnny. Wait, hold up. Here's Johnny. There, because I had to get into the camera. But I mean, like, dude, I mean, the movie, just growing up, seeing other horror films and just like an entirely different genre, growing up in a different age. I don't know. I kind of see where where Kubrick was going for a very disoriented feeling. That part I see because the movie is very disorientating. Very disoriented. I mean, it's just like there's corridors going down every single right. The camera's going nyeh, 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 nyeh. And I don't like, well, I like what Kubrick did with that because it's like it put an edge and there was tension there with Dan Torrance. Well, not Dan Torrance. Jack Torrance. There we go. I mean, we get to see like his abusiveness. In the book, I would have loved just seeing his dissent like verbatim instead of, oh, he's an asshole. Pardon the language, but he's an asshole. And then boom, goes from there. You know, he's just some psychopath that's trying to kill Wendy and his son. No. When I read the book and I went in to see like the movie, I wanted to see what the book, like I wanted to see the book in its fiery glory, but no. So after doing my my compare and contrast between the movie and the book. I love the book hands down. It is a bajillion times better than the movie, even though the movie is a cinematic masterpiece. The book is 1,000 times better. And if you have the patience, if you're not a reading type of person, still read The Shining. You will not be disappointed. To me, it's way better than the movie, hands down. But I do know that there was a miniseries back in the 90s, I believe, which was fairly good. I'm kind of curious to see it now. It's kind of fallen to the wayside, but I do want to see that one. Um, but this is what I've been doing for today's vlog. I got off of work, came back to the boat. I wanted to check out and see the movie that has been praised like for 40 years and it still holds its value to this day. And I liked it, but I'm just sorry, the book is so much better. So much better by a landslide. So, never hurts to say, Stephen King, if you're ever watching this video on your day off from writing on YouTube, thank you, sir. You have wrote a brilliant thing, and I side with you on The Shining, the movie. Kubrick should have really chose what you did, because I don't know, the movie was good, but it wasn't. It didn't hold up to the book, hands down. But you guys, I know I've talked to no. Well, actually, since we are on the topic, I'm still talking about the movie. I did love the bleeding elevator. Now that part, came from Kubrick. That I really liked, especially when Wendy Torrance is coming down the hallway near the end, the climax, and you just see blood running through that part I liked. That was neat. Or when she was, I forgot which. I think it was the Colorado room. There was just a bunch of skeletons there. Now that one was cool too. I liked that. Or the dog, which was in the book. The gay dog. That was, anyway. Like I said, I could go on forever. Oh yes, and room 217, which in the book it's 217, in the movie it's 237, because the people who own the hotel were like, no, you cannot do that to our room, because nobody will stay there. But if you're a millennial in this day and this time, I can almost guarantee you will probably want to spend the night in room 217. Although, well, now it's 237. But you guys, now I will end the vlog. Thank you all so much for a good listening to me. And I'm sorry, it's just like I look forward to sharing my book with the world. I just do. So far, Salem's Lot, 1922, The Shining, Pet Sematary, where a lot of the ideas do come from. Or where the basis comes from. It's like Stephen King has. I'm learning from the master and what he's doing. But hey guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. That will keep you in the loop on daily content of my life here in the state of Florida. Stay posted, stay tuned, keep in touch with me at Dream Poet at Facebook, as well as my Instagram in the links below. Thank you all for the love and support. I love you all very much. Peace, you guys.